everyone, and welcome back to Talk Time Africa. Thank you for joining us, and here's Jay.
Hello, everyone.
Today on the show, we're going to be talking about faith, family, and football. And to help us out is a young man who has just been signed on as the linebacker for Edmonton Eskimos. He's going to be here talking about his faith, his family, and his football, and also he's authored a book. All of that you don't want to miss, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
TV station. Explore, engage, enjoy.
Welcome back, folks. Today, Jay and I are talking about faith, family, and football. And to add to that, free agent, the perspectives of an African-American athlete, Rennie Flomo Curran. So, he's authored that book, and it was all of what you were going through at some point that led you to, to write that. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, so I was, like I said, originally drafted by the Tennessee Titans in 2010, and after my rookie season, my coaching staff got fired, which is like in any business, if your boss got fired, you have a new staff coming in and they bring in their people. And so ultimately, I tried out for them, I did well, but ultimately they had other plans, and so I found myself back at home in a time where I was at a crossroad point, at a time of uncertainty, time of major change, and I had played football for the past 13 years of my life, and all of a sudden I got to my 14th season, and I was at home doing something that I never thought I would be doing, which is watching the game of football and not playing. So I started looking for different ways to vent. I got tired of just going to the weight room every single day and working out by myself, and just needed some other way to express myself, and so I started to write, just to vent like anybody would just write a diary. And then all of a sudden I was like, hey, maybe I can turn this into a book. And then I took it a step further, that, hey, I can turn this situation that I'm in into something that can inspire people. And so I started writing at a point with the theme of never letting go of your dreams. But then I realized that this was something that everybody goes through in life. And I took the concept of being a free agent in the NFL, which is, like I said, when you're a free agent in the NFL or in any sport, it's like where you get to choose, you basically have the chance to choose your own destiny and choose where you're at. So I took that concept and I made it into a universal theme, saying that, at some point of our lives, we can all be called free agents. Whether you're coming out of college, going into the real world, or whether you get fired from your job after 20 years, you can be considered a free agent. Just like I was in that time of uncertainty, not knowing where to turn or what was going to happen next. And so I realized that the same things that helped me be successful in that time that I was, out of football were the same things that can help people be successful if they get fired from their job. So things like having self-confidence, things like being self-motivated, things like remaining humble, being able to ask for help, and then also just seeing the bigger picture of things. I've been a football player for so long, and like a lot of guys, you start to let that become who you are. And I think a big thing is just in life, just realizing that you're more than just your title, or just being the CEO of a company. You have your identity, whether that's in your faith or whether that's in just who you are. You have a bigger life. There's bigger things out there than just your job title. And so I just touched on a lot of those different things, and I think it's going to be able to help a lot of people and inspire a lot of people using what I learned through the game of football and just what I've learned in life.
I'm inspired just by
Listening to that.
You know, the steps that led up to you writing the book. And I was saying to him earlier, you know, for someone being so young and being so deep and philosophical, you know, it's very impressive.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to reading the book.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Would the book tell us anything about you, about Rennie?
Yeah, it's definitely going to talk about the transformations I went through. You know, I'll give you an example, not to give away a lot of the book,
Okay.
but
I know.
just in terms of having self-confidence. Like I said, like even growing up, you know, being a young kid, being an African-American kid, you know, and being of African descent, I wasn't always proud of being African because, you know, you have some kids who all they know is what they see on TV, that Africans are, you know, they walk around no clothes.
Right.
There's nothing but wild animals walking around. And so for a while, I didn't tell people that I was Liberian, or I didn't tell people I was African just because I didn't want to hear them call me African booty scratcher and different things like that. But after a while, as I grew, and I grew in self-confidence, and I knew, you know, more about my country, and, you know, talked to my grandparents and looked at different people and how different people didn't know their culture and where they came from, I started to take pride in it. And that became something of confidence. You know, I took confidence in being of African descent, because I knew people, you know, not everybody had that same background, not everybody had that same wealth of knowledge that I had, and that there were a lot of beautiful things that have come out of Africa and out of my country, Liberia. So that's some of the things that I talk about, and just besides having that self-confidence in your country, also just that pride and that confidence in being okay with not having that title. You know, if they take away, a lot of people, if you take away their job and you take away what they're used to, you know, they have no self-confidence at all. Or if you take them and put them in an environment where there's a lot of successful people, they feel down about themselves, and then they're not secure.
Right.
So those are some of the things I talk about in the different topics, and how I had to grow through that and understand it. So I think a lot of people will be able to relate, and even though I'm a football player, they'll be able to see that we have a lot of things in common.
True.
Yeah.
I was going to take that part because you were talking about being African and being proud of your parents' heritage, which is also your heritage.
Yeah.
But there are also so many other NFL players
Definitely.
and NBA players that also have that same African descent.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of coming together with those professional players and doing something?
Yeah, I definitely have. And part of, you know, going to Liberia, it wasn't just a family trip. Like, I wanted to do a charity mission trip as well. And so I reached out to a lot of different, you know, guys of Liberian descent and Nigerian descent, but it just so happened that the lockout was going on at the same time with the NFL. Okay. And so it was a lot of time, it was a time of instability within the sports world. So a lot of the guys couldn't make it at that time. But I definitely plan on, you know, continue to you know, collaborate with guys who are doing good things in Africa and combine our forces, because there's a lot of influence that we have, you know, just being athletes and having that platform. So there's a lot of good that we can do in our country. You got guys like Mutombo, you know, who do a lot of great things just from his years and using his fame to really affect his whole entire country.
Right.
So I feel like if more guys like that can come together, like, there's no telling, we can go country to country and really be voices, you know, for those who don't have voices, and really provide a lot of change.
That's great. Well, go back to the book, because you do have a book signing coming up, don't you?
Yeah, I do. The book is going to be on sale at the University of Georgia. That's where I'm going to have the first signing. So it's going to be at the campus bookstore April 6th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then it's also on my website for sale, www.renniecurran.com.
Okay.
So it's available for pre-order and everything. So I'm excited. I'm just hoping that it can get to a lot of young people, especially, who have time now, you know, while they're young, to do something about their lives, and, you know, older people as well, because even, you know, as you grow older, you might be in a career that you never thought you would be in. You know, there's a lot of people that come from different countries that may come to America with many hopes and dreams, but because of, you know, they're faced with a time of uncertainty, they're faced with a lot of changes, you know, they aren't used to their environment, they might find themselves doing something that they never thought they would do. You know, so I want to reach out to some of those people and to inspire them to never give up, you know, on their dreams, and to continue on, to use that time of uncertainty, that time as a free agent, to use it to their advantage, and to, you know, to be flexible, and to just learn to go after anything they want to do in life.
Okay, people, it's not all about football. Free Agent is a motivational book that will inspire all. So, you know, they can go on your website, which is, again, give it to us again.
It's www.renniecurran.com. So,
Okay,
yeah,
we'll put that up.
And I think he just spoke to young people out there who may be looking up to him or trying to do what he's doing. You know, is there anything more that you can say to them? Because you covered everything.
I mean, it's real. You know, what I spoke about. If you look at the most successful people in the world today, the Oprahs, you know, the Bill Gates, all the top professionals, once you read up on their bios, you'll see that they got fired from some job, or they went through some time where they had a major transition, and that ultimately led them to be where they're at today. So you just got to know, if you want to achieve a dream, that it's not always going to be rosy, it's not always going to be pretty. You're going to have to go through a time where you have to really question yourself. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, is this really what I want to do? And you're going to have to give some things up. There's going to be sacrifices that have to be made. You know, and so I think that when they read the book, they'll be able to see that and be able to know that it's okay if I'm in this time. It's not going to be forever, but it's something that I have to go through that's going to prepare me for what's ahead.
Right.
You know what else prepares you for what's ahead? Rennie's middle name is Flomo, right? It's a Liberian name, and Flomo means?
It means protector.
You see, that's why I said, you know, they're preparing you for what's ahead, because when your parents give you a name and they name you protector from birth, and you grow up and you become a protector of your family, that's just inspirational.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
It is.
That is amazing.
It is. This is the point where Jay and I put our guests on the spot.
Okay.
So you know you're African when?
When I eat African food,
You've got to tell us what kind of African food.
Oh,
so you know you're African when you eat
pepper soup.
Yeah. You know you're African when you get spanked.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's definitely. Yeah, definitely got a lot of spanking.
A lot of spanking. It made you who you are today, right?
It did.
Good.
You know, and how to respect people, different things like that. You know, so and speaking to people is huge within our culture. I think there's a lot of things we learn that's good. You know, that can be implemented into any environment. You know, that help us become who we are, help us stand out. You know?
Right.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your insight, Rennie.
Yeah,
we enjoyed having you.
Thanks a lot.
Very, very young, but very inspirational. You know, you're very grounded. So Mom and Dad did a good job.
Yeah.
You should. Thanks a lot.
We'll be right back.
Fusion TV, the one, the only. Atlanta's multicultural TV station. Explore, engage, enjoy.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed that. Rennie's a wonderful young man. He's very inspirational. We hope that you go out, you get his book. It was fun having him.
It was.
And I'm hoping that all the young football players, basketball players, anybody that plays sports out there would watch this and learn from his, he's had mistakes, but he's had a lot of growth too. So hopefully we'll all learn something from it. Thanks for joining us.